In the context of a change management project, what are some of the ways to minimize disruption, to be able to allow that balance within an organization, but still have the expertise and leadership required for a successful project?
All change, as we know, all change is disruptive to an organization. You can't eliminate it, but you can reduce it. I wouldn't even say minimize it. I'm just going to go with reduce it. There are a number of options out there. I think in terms of Ontario and the size of companies here, one of the best bets is to get some interim technical and management support to help you do this. People who, in organizations who will come in and work themselves out of a job in terms of allowing you to get your change management process, get things up and running, and impart upon your organization the skills and knowledge necessary to keep going even when they've left. Or instead of being there full-time for the third project, they're there half-time and just as a mentor. I also think in terms of the SMEs in Ontario, usually within their IT department, they're very lacking. It's shoestring, it's what's necessary to keep things going. Industry 4.0 is very heavy on technology, it's very heavy on data analysis. So if you can bring in those organizations that can help you get your technology and data analysis tools up to where you need them to be, you're going to benefit many times over what the cost of bringing those outside expertise into your organization.
Yeah, understanding that change is difficult, it's disruptive, and the fact is that many of your current staff may not have done great project management, they may not have managed change. So what organizations ultimately want to do is find an accelerator to change. And often the accelerator to change is, first of all, it's somebody who's already done it. So finding the right team that can provide that expertise, provide that pathway, because ultimately you want to have change controlled. As much as change is difficult, you want to control it. So most organizations don't have people that have had great histories of change management or necessarily even project management. So finding the right people to work with you, whether consultants, interim management, and as I say, as Marty says, ultimately you want people to come in who can teach you how to do this, because bring them in for one project, manage that change, and then embed that knowledge in the organization. So the right interim management can both do the work and also establish the methodology for future growth and to make this a repeatable success. That's really what you want.
Who are best served in a role to be the change management agents?
Typically, what you're gonna need to find, first of all, you gotta start at the top. So you've got to make sure your leadership is fully engaged in the change right across the whole leadership team. And then ultimately from that, depending on the project, you're gonna want to find somebody who's gonna be your change champion to drive it. But I think one of the key things to realize is that often the organization isn't necessarily equipped to deal with change, because change is a different discipline. It's not like finance, it's not like HR, it's not like engineering. So I think you've got to make sure you've got your right team in place to make sure that's going to happen.
Okay. Yeah, I think part of the problem in Ontario, we have to remember this, is there are SMEs that are the ones that are biggest hit by change. Larger organizations can have the champions and afford to keep them on board because they can rotate through the organization as they roll out change. Within SMEs, you do not have that skill set on board. You have a lot of the skills in people necessary to do it, but what you don't have is that champion of change within your organization. They've never done it before. They've been part of it before, but they've never led it before. So it's key to get the right person to lead, who understands the people, and get the right people on that team that want the change, understand the change, and understand the organization and how it works.